Uh, Hello, everyone, again. We actually have a nice problem, but we still have a lot of people outside who are trying to get in. So I would ask if you could squish together a little bit and make a little more room on the bleachers if you can. I know you can't sit on top of each other, but if we could, we'd like to accommodate as many as we can. So if you could be mindful of that, we would appreciate it, but do the best you can. Thank you.
Every time that I look in the mirror, all these lines in my face getting clearer. The past is gone. It went by like dust to dust. Blue jean baby, LA lady, seamstress for the band, pretty eye, pirate smile, you marry a music man, ballerina, you must have seen her dancing in the sand. Now she's in me, always with me, tiny dancer in my hand. Jesus freaks out in the street, handing tickets out for gone, turning back, she just laughs. The boulevard is not that bad. Piano man, he makes a stand in their auditorium, looking on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience. We are about ready to get started here. And to get us started on our program, we'd like to welcome our former governor, Governor David Beasley.
Wow. What a great crowd for a great day, for a great cause, for a great country. The first person I want to introduce is a great friend whom we've been in American politics for quite some time, and we both married way over our head. He's got 3 children, I've got 4, and we've been in American politics. And in the last few years, we've been together doing many things with regards to national defense and security, integrity of our borders, and it's our good friend Van Hipp. Van Hipp, as you well know, is a Wofford graduate. Van Hipp's and as you know, Van Hipp loves Wofford. And so he started the Hipp lecture series, and now we're in the presidential campaign dealing with issues of war and peace, immigration, integrity and security of our borders. The series that he has started with Commander-in-Chief is most appropriate in today's time. And so Van started this series on the Wofford campus because of his love for Wofford and because of his love for the freedoms and the liberties and the ideals that Wofford stands for and what our nation stands for. So I present to you a good friend, an author of a tremendous book, of which all the proceeds of that book go to charity and helping our soldiers. Is that right, Van? Van, come on up. Van Hipp, I present to you a good friend. Van's going to be doing the moderating for the main event. And I'm to introduce the man for the main event. The man who's going to make America great again. Now, as you know, I was Republican governor of South Carolina. But I'll say this, there time to time that the political parties of America let the American people down. And every now and then, somebody enters into the stage, whether it's stage left or stage right, that stirs things up. That says, you know, we need to rethink America. We need to shake it up a little bit and get back to the basics that make this nation so great. This man, a father of 5, a grandfather of 7, we were just spending some time backstage talking about family, America. A man who has a heart, who's proven himself in the business world. He, of course, yes, he knows how to brand. There's no doubt about that. He understands entertainment. He understands how to make a dollar. He knows what it means to be a part of the American dream. And so, ladies and gentlemen, a revolution is about to start in this nation that's going to move this nation back in its right course. And it comes from you, the American people, with leadership that will stand strong. I present to you the next President of the United States, Donald Trump.
We've got the right to choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it. This is our life. This is our song. We'll fight the powers that be just. Don't pick on destiny, 'cause you don't know us. You don't belong. Oh, we're not gonna take it.
Wow, beautiful. And the fire marshal is going to allow more people. We have hundreds of people outside. They shut them off. Now they're going to let them come in. So we broke the record, that's true. But they're going to let them come in. They'll have people standing at every door, and that's good. They broke the record, but they're all coming in, so thank you. You people got the best real estate, right? Thank you.
Well, thank you all for being here. Mr. Trump, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And this is the Commander-in-Chief Presidential Forum. Thank you for being here. And, you know, as the governor was saying, we started this lecture series several years ago to work with the Wofford students to bring great people to campus, open to the public, hear great new ideas. And people ask, why a Commander-in-Chief Forum? The reason the Founding Fathers and the states came together in the first place was to provide for the common defense of the American people, to keep America safe. And I can't think of and I think in this election, 2016 is going to be about electing a commander-in-chief who can keep America safe. And I would say this, I want to thank Dr. Bill DeMars, the chairman of our government department, did a great job. We've got some great questions from students we're going to be asking soon.
Right.
And why Wofford? Why Spartanburg? There's a rich history here in South Carolina and in Spartanburg when it comes to national security. Our people have an appreciation for what their forefathers went through to build this country, keep this, and the freedoms we've got, freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, which lets us be here. This is the place where Henry Kissinger became an American citizen at Camp Croft in the early days of World War II. This is where one of America's best secretaries of state, Jimmy Burns, did much of the work on the Manhattan Project. And this is the place where the Scots-Irish of the backwoods of South Carolina came together to defeat the British and turn the tide in the American Revolutionary War. This is the right place to have a Commander-in-Chief series. And Mr. Trump, I want to thank you for being here. And I would just start with that. This election is about electing a Commander-in-Chief to keep America safe. How do you view your role as Commander-in-Chief, and what best prepares you?
Well, it's so interesting. And first of all, this is a beautiful place. We drove in. I said, wow, I don't know. If I would have known about this, I would have forgotten about the Wharton School, maybe. This is This is really a special place and a beautiful, and I've met your headmasters, I met a lot of your professors, and you have a great group of people that really love what they're doing and they love their students. So congratulations, everybody. It's really great. Your question is so interesting because it's evolving, it's changing. 2 weeks ago, I would have talked about trade, and I was talking about China and how they're killing us, and we all know that story, and boy, is that true. We're going to lose a tremendous amount of money this year, and we have for many, many years, because we have people that frankly don't know what they're doing. But we're now sort of pivoting. As of about 4 days ago, we're pivoting into other subjects, and very strongly, more strongly than I even thought. When I announced that I was going to run for president, which was not an easy thing to do. You know, if you're a successful guy, you do something, you really put yourself out on the line. And yet it's that kind of thinking that we need in the country now. We have to have that kind of thinking because what's happened over the last fairly long period of time, in all fairness, we just can't keep going on like that. But now, with what's gone on in Paris, and even today, as you know, it's been tragic, what's happening all over, I mean, all over the world, and they want to come into other locations, and they said they want to come into Washington, which means they probably want to come into New York, or they want to come into someplace else. Unlike our president, he says where they're going to go, that's where they're going to go. He's totally predictable. They're unpredictable, so when they say Washington, they mean some other place. But a lot of things have happened over the last few days that really bring it to a point where I'm more and more speaking about security, taking care of us, being strong militarily, always taking care of our vets, our greatest people, our vets, always. In fact, we put in a plan for the vets. It's such a great plan, and they love it, and everybody's happy because the vets have been treated very badly. In fact, illegal immigrants in many cases are treated better than our veterans. It's hard to believe. And you know, that's not just a statement. That's not just a statement. That's a statement of fact, and it's a disgrace, frankly. But we're going to straighten that whole situation out. But we're going to have a military that's so strong, so powerful, so respected that, and I say it all the time, nobody's going to mess with us. Nobody's going to mess with us. And so with what's happened to ISIS and with ISIS over the last few days, and it's been happening for a long period of time, we haven't done our job. We haven't gotten rid of them. And we can get rid of them. We can get rid of them swiftly, and we're going to get rid of them swiftly. But and hopefully, you know, hopefully this is not going to be a problem when I get there, if I get there, if I'm the chosen one. Hopefully this won't. Thank you. I appreciate that shout out. But hopefully this product will be eradicated prior to getting there. But if it's not, I'm going to take care of it very, very swiftly, believe me. It's going to be taken care of.
A week ago today, we saw the terrible radical Islamist attacks on Paris.
Right.
Last night, Mali. We now learn from our FBI director, he's got 1,000 active ISIS investigations right now in America in all 50 states. How do we confront radical Islam on American soil?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to be able to use the term. We have a president that refuses to use the term. We have a radical Islamic terrorism problem, and I don't know what's going on. Hillary was unable to use the term the other day, and of course she's very concerned that if she angers the president, she's going to end up being indicted. So, you know, she has to be very nice. She has to be extremely nice. She's walking on eggs right now. Boom, boom, boom. She's walking very gently. She is I thought that They had big articles that Trump was against the war. This is in 2003, 2004. Actually, 2004, Reuters did a huge article, Trump opposed to the Iraq war. But I just viewed it as something that we shouldn't be involved in. Why are we doing this? We're going to destabilize. Because if you look, Iran and Iraq were the same militarily, the same. They fight all the time. You know, that's what they do. That's all they do. Fight, fight. They fight. We want to do other things, right? So they fight. So they go this way. They go that way. They'd go this way. Then Saddam Hussein would throw some gas. The other side would throw some, and then they stop for a couple of years. Then they start fighting. I said, if you knock out one or the other, in this case Iraq, the other one is going to just take over, you know, is going to take over whoever's left. And so what happens is Iran, as sure as you're sitting here, Iran now is taking over Iraq. Iraq, people don't realize, has the second largest oil reserves in the world. Nobody realizes that. Nobody ever talks about it. It's amazing. Immensely wealthy. They have the second largest oil reserves in the world. And I said, that's going to happen. I said, they're going to take it over, and that will be a disgrace. And beyond that, the entire Middle East has become a total mess with Libya, between Libya and everything, Syria. But they took it over, and I said, they're going to get these oil reserves. So then we go in, and then our president announces when he's leaving, which is a huge mistake, because now the enemy said, wait a minute, he actually told us a date when he's leaving. Let's pull back. Why should we get, you know, you read all about they don't mind dying and going wherever they go with lots of virgins, right? That's what they say, with plenty of virgins. Ay, ay, ay. But you know what? They don't want to die so quickly. Don't kid yourselves. They don't want to die so quickly. So they pull back. We leave. To the victor belong the spoils. So why didn't we take the oil? You know, in the old days, people would have a victory and they'd take whatever they want. They'd take the country. They'd take the country. We spend, think of it, we spend $2 trillion. $2 trillion. Does anyone know what trillion means? A lot of people don't even know what trillion means. This was a word that wasn't used 5 years ago, 6 years ago. $2 trillion, if you think about it, in Iraq. We have thousands of people killed, over 5,000, but thousands of young, wonderful people killed. We have wounded warriors who I love all over the place. They're all over the place. And they're the greatest people. And we have them all over. And we leave. We just leave like nothing happened. We leave. And I say, to the victor belongs the oil. Why didn't we keep the oil? And nobody can answer. And then finally, 3 days ago, they start hitting the oil. It's too late. I mean, look, it's too late. It's better now than never doing it. But we should have done this a long time ago. If we had the oil, there wouldn't be ISIS, because ISIS is making $1 million a day with the oil. So now finally they're hitting it. And I said hit it because that's the source of their wealth. Another source of their wealth, though, is banking. I'm very good at banking. I'm a very, very good at, but banking. They're being sent money through back channels and going to want to go get lunch, and you'll never see him again. It happens to me all the time. It's true. Okay? Donald, what do we do? I mean, Macy's was extremely disloyal to me, I have to tell you that. But some others. But you know what? I have to do what I have to do. I don't care. I have to do. And I brought up the subject of illegal immigration, big league. And then people started to say, about 2 weeks, took a while, but people started to say, you know, he's right. And then you had tremendous numbers coming out, tremendously poor numbers and bad numbers coming out about the crime. The crime wave is incredible. And then you had Kate, and beautiful Kate in San Francisco, shot in the back by an illegal immigrant. And we had so many others. Jamil, and a wonderful young student who was going to go on a scholarship, full scholarship, football scholarship. This is a great kid, great father, who's a friend of mine. And he was shot right through the head just by standing. He was walking home from a deli. He got himself a sandwich, and his father, they're going to have a sandwich together. And this guy passed him and just shot him. He got a gun, shot him in the head 4 or 5 times. And when he went down, he went like this, and he shot his hands off because it was a 45, and shot him right through the hands. I mean, the whole thing was so horrible. And so many other cases, illegal immigrant. And people started saying, you know, Trump might be right. He might be right. Now they know I'm right, and it's become a big factor. And you were just telling me how well he was telling me about the polls. He knew more about my polls than I did. Can you believe this? But you were just saying about how good they are. But I think a lot of it has to do with illegal immigration. And then to get back to your but they view that as part of safety and part of borders and part of the fact that we're going to have borders, and they're going to be borders, strong borders on the southern border. And Mexico is going to pay for the wall. I will tell you that. Mexico's paying for the wall. So when people saw that, and they understand now, a lot of the candidates that I'm running against are sort of coming my way. You know, I was out there by myself. Now all of a sudden they're saying, you know, I think a wall's a good idea. A wall said 5 weeks ago they were saying, you got to be kidding. The other thing that's funny, and they'll never be able to do that because they're just politicians. They're all politicians. But when I say Mexico's going to pay, I'm not playing games. I'm not just saying that. I'm a business guy. It's like CNBC. They were going to have a 2-hour debate, and then they sold all their commercials for numbers that they never thought possible, and they made it 3 hours. And I said, you're not going to do that. And I protested. And within about 2 minutes, I convinced them not to do it. I said, that's not right. Who wants to sit for 3 hours watch? I don't care. I can stand for 25 hours and do a debate, but who wants to do that? And everybody said, oh, but you won't be successful, and if you call them, they won't do it. I said, they'll do it. They'll do it. Believe me. I got all the ratings anyway, so I said, I won't participate in the debate. And they said, okay, we'll make it 2 hours. Huh? But we got them down. We got them down. And the same thing with Mexico's actually easier. Because we have a trade imbalance with Mexico of $45 billion a year. The war's going to cost probably $8 to $10 billion. And that's super wall. That's not, you know, they were going to spend more money on a little wall like this where you just drive over it, right? You saw the walls they built where they have a ramp. And they built a ramp on the wall. They built the wall. And they have a ramp where the cars go over at 40 miles an hour. And they have the drugs. They're loaded up with drugs. And they just go over. We're going to have a real wall. We're going to have a wall. See the ceiling up there? That's about the height. Maybe we'll go a little bit higher. Believe me. We're going to have a real wall. And walls, remember this, ask Israel. Walls work. You know, in Israel. you read about all the time, we're doing so well. The real number is 25%, okay? That's the real number, okay? And that number, in my opinion, and I don't even blame this on Obama, that was done years ago, although it's gotten weaker and weaker over the years, but that number was devised by politicians that wanted to make themselves look good. That's all it is. It's not a real number. It's a phony number. Every time I hear it, I turn off the television because it doesn't matter. They say unemployment went down. When I went to Mobile, Alabama, I had 35,000 people. I went to Oklahoma, I had 20,000 people. Wherever I go, I have crowds that are so massive. It's only restricted by the size of the arena, like this. I mean, it's literally only restricted. And I told somebody the other day, if the real number was 5.2%, I'd have 15 people sitting in the front row. It's just not. I mean, we have got tremendous problems. Our jobs have been taken away. They've gone to Asia. They've gone all over the place. They've gone to Mexico. Tremendous numbers of jobs have gone to Mexico. I mean, Nabisco is moving their big plant from Chicago. You know that story. I talk about it because I used to like Oreos. I don't eat Oreos anymore. Nabisco has a big plant in Chicago. They've just announced they're moving that plant to Mexico. And which is terrible. I mean, how does that help us? It doesn't help us. There's nothing that helps us. And they're actually incentivized to do that. Look, folks, we're run by stupid people. We're run by such stupid people. It's so stupid. Ford Motor Company, great company, they're building a $2.5 billion plant in Mexico. They're going to make cars, trucks, and parts. And they're going to sell them all over, but they're going to bring them right into the United States. No tax, no nothing. In the meantime, they close up plants in Michigan. They close up plants in other locations. It's horrible. In Tennessee, they were going to build a foreign company was going to build a big plant. They were all set to sign the documents. The deal was practically done. Boom, Mexico got them. I mean, Mexico is going to be the car capital of the world. It's going to be the car capital of the world. We don't know what's happening. Since I've been doing this, car icon, one of the great business people of our time, tremendously wealthy man, great negotiator, known for many years, just a great negotiator, and others. But Carl endorsed me. And see, I call that real endorsement. Some of these guys take endorsement, some third-rate politician that's been terrible, and they think you get an endorsement from Carl. I probably never endorsed anybody before. But he knows that I know about corporate inversions, where basically companies are leaving our country, leaving the jobs, and moving to other countries. You know, it used to be where they moved from New York to Florida to avoid taxes, or get rid of some of the taxes. But now they're moving from the United States to other countries. And it's an inversion where they can't get their money back. Also, they have $2.5 trillion, at least in other countries. They can't bring it back into this country. And by the way, the Democrats and Republicans both agree we should let the money come back. For 3 years now, they haven't been able to make it yet. Washington it's such a good one. You know, I used to use the inversion story to tell you that, okay, it's one thing when Republicans and Democrats get up with a wrong again, that's one thing. And there are plenty of things that they disagree on. But here's something, $2.5 trillion, I think it's much more than that, but it's at least $2.5 trillion is outside. This is money that's essentially owned by American companies. They can't bring the money back into the country. Politicians, for years, have agreed on both sides, almost unanimously, that it's good to have the money back. You know, who could say that, right? No, we don't want the money, right? So we think